Welcome everybody, it's Tom, and in this video we are going to be talking about Dr. Monty and what he may exactly be, because right now we don't know what he is in the first place. We just have an idea that he's God, but we don't know it's like his race or species or anything like that. Well, maybe not species, but race is what's important right now, because we can say that maybe he's Apothicon, maybe he's Keeper, maybe he's human, but these are all very doubtful, and I will explain in a second. Before I get into it, I want to kind of explain exactly how I made this theory, because this theory is mine originally. So tell me what you guys think about it in the comments below after you hear the whole thing through. So what I did, I heard Jason Blundell say that you'd be able to find the location of DLC 4 just by looking at the information that they gave you within all the maps that we've got so far. So that includes Shadows of Evil, The Giant, The Rise of Drakish, Setsubo no Shima, and Gorod Krovi. And so what I did, I went through every cipher and every single one of these maps. This is all of our 5 maps. I went through every single one, went through all the radios and all the quotes excluding Gorod Krovi, because we don't have all the quotes right now. We'll have to wait for those to actually come out. But I went through all the other maps quotes. And I was looking for it, but unfortunately I couldn't find any location of our DLC 4, but I found something very interesting. Actually, I found multiple things, but this is the one I felt to be the most interesting. And it may lead to our actual race of Dr. Monty and what he is and why he is so powerful. So what happened, I found this cipher in Shadows of Evil. Well, I didn't find the original one, but I just found it while looking for the site. We're looking through the ciphers inside it, and it's very interesting. So I'm going to read you guys off this cipher. I want to talk about it at the end and just tell you why I think this cipher can actually lead us to the identity or what Dr. Monty is. So the cipher says, the elders will continue to seed time and space. I must lead them to a place they cannot see. So the part I want you guys to pay attention to is the first half. The second half is so interesting, probably more interesting than the second part, but the first part talks about the elders. And this cipher in itself is very interesting because this is the only cipher that we've ever seen in all of Zombies to appear twice. This not only did it just appear twice, it appeared twice in the same map. I remember when people found this, people were like, why is there 2? This doesn't make any sense. People thought maybe it's an Easter egg, you can interact with them, but unfortunately that wasn't true. But the thing is, we have this new thing called the Elders. Who are these Elders? Because people just kind of heard it, maybe it's the Keepers, maybe it's the Apothicons, maybe it's the Ancients, these ancient people, maybe it's a premise from way back then. But I believe this to actually be Dr. Monty. And the reason I believe this is that if you look at any other story that brings up something called the Elders, and I'm not talking about just people that are older than you, than your elders, I'm talking about elders like in any other fiction stories. For example, Marvel, they have the Elders of the Universe, and these guys are omnipotent. Just like someone else, who? Dr. Monty. Dr. Monty is also omnipotent. They are omnipotent. So Elders of the Universe are mainly omnipotent. If you guys look at the cipher in itself, it doesn't say he has to kill the ciphers, and I mean, excuse me, they have to kill the elders, they have to bring them to a place they cannot see. And what else do we see inside the Monty can do? He can see all the universes. Remember inside his quote, if you guys have watched my video on all of Monty's quotes, he actually says he can actually kind of complains how hard it is to keep track of all the universes. So again, it's very interesting. But not only this, Monty says himself, all I can really do is give things a little nudge, sow a seed, plant an idea, see what grows, see what sticks. But didn't we hear something about this very similar inside the cipher we just read? The cipher says the elders will continue to seed time and space. Remember, sow a seed, plant an idea. And right here in our other cipher, well, that was a quote to the cipher that says the elders will continue seed time and space. What is this? I find another very interesting connection between these two. And I also have our last one right here, and it's even more interesting. If these first two didn't kind of confirm it for you guys, then this last one is the best you're going to get, because I cannot find any better connection between the two. The cipher says that there's the elders, not elder, so it's talking in plural here. There's multiple people here. There's multiple of these elders. So where have we ever heard of these other multiple elders? Are there more than these? From what most people know, that there's just Dr. Monty. But you can actually find another cipher also in Shadows of Evil, and it reads, M is interested in these worthless beings. All his work will be undone. X. So assuming M is Monty, and maybe this is how the elders communicate to each other, just calling people by their first letter. I guess they're too powerful, I don't know. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that. But at the end, it says all his work will be undone, X. So if you read this, you can obviously tell this is not written by Monty, assuming M is Monty, which seems very, very likely at this point. But this isn't actually written by Monty, it's written by whoever this X is. Could he be another elder of the universe, or just elder? It would make so much sense, because it sounds like he's someone who's talking about Monty on par with them. He says, because they sound very similar to each other, like in power, because M is interested in these worthless beings. So assuming he's calling maybe Primus or the Origins characters, if they're not the same, but he's talking about them and calling them the worthless beings, then it sounds like they're calling them worthless, but M is not actually saying it. It's X that's saying this, because you have to just look at how it's written down, or hear how it's written down. That's just how it works. M doesn't say M is interested when you're talking about yourself. Why would you talk to yourself about like you're the third person? This is just my example, and the X at the end could just be maybe his signature or whatever. And on top of this, who is he writing this to? He's not writing this to M. He doesn't say you are interested in these worthless beings. He tells someone else. He's saying M is interested in these worthless beings. So there could be maybe M, which is Monty, X, who is another elder, and he's writing this to another elder. So this would be very interesting. Just so interesting. I feel this kind of confirms this. Also, we hear another quote from Monty that says free will, just like I talked about this a while ago, and it says free will. That was my idea, by the way. If we talks about this like if someone else had a say into this. What if somebody did have a say into this? There was another elder. Maybe there's multiple elders. This is so interesting, but that's all the evidence I can present to you at this point in time about Monty being one of these elders, the elders of the universe. I want to actually talk about if this is all true. So if this is true, let's actually look at these ciphers that I just tried to prove that he is this elder. So if we look at these ciphers, it says the elders continue to see time and space. I must take them to a place they cannot see. So assuming this is written by somebody, who could this be written? Obviously it's going to be written by somebody, but who could this somebody be? It could be a large amount of people, but if you think about it, it was found in Shadows of Evil, and the few people that were there, we know Maxis was there from that portal radio thing, we know Richtofen showed up, and obviously we had the Shadow Man and all these other people. So it could go from the Apothicon to Richtofen to Maxis, the Shadows of Evil characters, but let's just take out the people that are kind of unbelievable. So obviously the 4 Shadows of Evil characters, I highly doubt they even know anything about the elders. Maybe Nero does, maybe he doesn't, but really I find this to be rather Richtofen or Maxis, because if we think about it, what is Monty being so suspicious of Richtofen right now? I really feel this to be Richtofen who's writing this, because if he is an elder, he's going to actually not take them, he's going to lead them to a place they cannot see. He's not exactly like kidnapping them or anything. It seems like he's going to confuse them and kind of trick them into actually he can lead them to this place they cannot see. And if they cannot see, this would stop them from actually seeing what he's doing. So maybe he doesn't want them to stop him from doing something, so he's going to lead them to a place they cannot see, and then since they don't know what he's doing, he can do whatever he wants. It's very, very interesting. So I'm assuming this is written by Richtofen, this first cipher. But as for the second one, like I said, this is probably being written by X. But the problem is, he says M is interested in these worthless beings. All his work will be undone. Is he saying all Monty's work will be undone? What's Monty's work? What is this? Unless he's not talking about Monty and he's talking about someone else's work, maybe Richtofen's work, maybe Maxis's work, or anybody's like that. But I'm assuming this is going to be M's work, because he doesn't mention anybody but M inside this and himself. So he says M is interested in these worthless beings. All his work will be undone. So again, assuming this is Monty, that M is, which is very, very, very likely at this point. All his work will be undone. What work? Who's going to make his work become undone? Richtofen, Maxis, X himself, maybe somebody else? I have no idea. But anyways, if you guys found this informative and helpful and at least enjoyable, go ahead and thumbs up. Also down in the comments, tell me what you guys think about this theory. Is it interesting? Do you have any ideas about it? If did I go wrong somewhere, anything like that, go ahead and write all those down in the comments. If you guys want to stay tuned for any Gorod, Krovi, any actually zombie storyline stuff or Easter eggs, tutorials, anything like that, go ahead and subscribe. But I'm going to go, and I will catch you guys on my next video.